wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a...
Hello and welcome listeners to another episode of Tactical Awareness. It's Heroes and Zeros, Kestrel Colonial Force week as we work our way through Pan O. In this series, I'm joined by my fellow hosts Owen and Dan because we like to write army lists, and Infinity N5 has, of course, upset the apple cart on all these profiles. So each of us writes a list, we go through the profiles we think are interesting and or different, and at the end we round up any other business, profiles we didn't mention, and this is our sort of like breakdown for N5 for Pan O, the big blue boys that solve all the problems with bullets. So let's dive in, see how the fellas are doing, and get this going.
I brought scarecrows.
It'll be funny if we made effectively the same lists. Hey everybody, welcome to another army breakdown. We built this city on Pan and O, and we're doing Kestrel, the Kestrel Colonial Marine Corps, the KCF, not the KFC. What was it in Quebec? The PFQ or something like that? PFC? I don't know. But this is the newest Pan O faction, and if you haven't been part of this before, we're going round robin, making lists, and highlighting what we think some of the biggest changes are in every faction in Infinity N5. Obviously, these are three different people who play three different ways, and our goal here is to highlight things that we think make these factions unique. I'm actually playing Kestrel in this edition because I usually take the starter set box and make it my new faction for the edition whenever there's like a new ITS season. And this was one of the two that were in the box set. So yeah, these guys are neat. But all three of us made a list. We're going to start with mine, go through and talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and what's new and exciting in here. There are a bunch of new profiles. I didn't fuck with a lot of them though, which is, I think, interesting because I think people probably expected that we would go deep into like the newer things. And there's a few that don't have models yet, and I didn't really bother with for a variety of reasons, but we'll talk about those when we get in here. So my list is the only time in Pan O so far that I've done a 5-man core team, because one of the unique things about Kestrel is they can still do a very cool mixed fire team and get to a full 5-man list because they can mix Fennec Fusiliers with the Griffin, who counts as a Fennec Fusilier. And the Griffin is just a better orc, basically. Yep. Do you want to talk about him for a second? Because I feel like this is one of the standout profiles. He's heavy infantry. He's BS 14, MSV 1. He's got courage, shock immune, jumps 8. And terrain desert. So you can have a multi-rifle Pulsar, HMG Pulsar, Feuerbach, and you can have a lieutenant profile with an HMG. I just took the basic ass HMG guy.
Yep.
He's cheap, 37 points, 1.5 SWC, can offset mods, and can get the full fire team bonus. He's got 2 paramedics and a lieutenant hanging out with him. And then for those mid-range gunfights, if it's too close for HMGs, we switch over to my boy, Fusilier Indigo Richard Quinn, who also counts as a Fennec Fusilier. He's immunity arm, which is crazy. FO, MSV1, and Warhorse with a multi-marksman rifle. He used to just have a marksman rifle. Now he's got a multi-marksman rifle and a +1 burst boarding pistol. So 26 points. He is a fucking bargain. And he's supposed to be John Wick, right? Like that's his thing. He gunfights like crazy. And let's talk about that fire team. This is like the one time where I can get a full 5-man head count bonus and have 2 patch up dudes and really go to town. Now, the only thing I would consider doing in the future is maybe not have my lieutenant in there, but because I have the 3 box set Fusiliers, and I'm not really worried about them dying unless someone really gets close to these dangerous models. It hasn't been a problem so far. What do you guys think about these profiles? Because the Fennec Fusiliers obviously are just better Fusiliers.
They're just Acon regulars.
Yeah, they're Fusilier right. Train Desert. Yeah, 0 arm, 3 BTS.
But like that the only thing they're missing is the Sapper sniper.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like the triangulated mine layer guy is just the Acon guy back again.
And when I get, it's funny because my list has 2 points vacant from it. When I get that supportware box, one of those 2 paramedics becomes the triangulated fire mine layer with a thunderbolt.
I was gonna say that's like the sleeper profile for 14 points.
Yeah.
You get a 3 first thunderbolt and a mine layer shock mine.
He's the guy that when I don't want to risk Quinn or the other guy, I send him.
Like
or triangulated fire because he can.
Yeah, he just lays on the ground and shoots you on 12s with 3 dice anywhere on the board.
Anywhere on the board. That is really the crazy thing is that he can get to 3.5
13
dice.
Because he has the +1 BS because he's in his friend.
That's right.
Yeah.
And because he's going to have 6th sense, right? He's going to be able to ignore damn near anything. So you can walk him out with maybe if you want to get him into line of fire or something, you could walk him out with the Griffin at the same time, both standing up, fight with the Griffin. They probably won't split off a dice to shoot that guy and then switch to the triangulated fire afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, if something goes horribly wrong, just having that Thunderbolt as a backup is not a bad idea.
Yeah, and just being able to break through like suppression waves. You get an MS, you get a mimetism suppressing guy. So I'm like, because I'm a model purist, I haven't taken that profile yet, only because I don't have the miniature for it, and I want that miniature. And I know they'll do a support box for the Phoenix soon. And that 2 points is waiting to turn one of those 2 paramedics into.
Does anybody know what a Thunderbolt actually looks like?
Nope, I don't think we've seen one yet. I have no idea. Then I got my Mulebot. He's there to be. It's funny because I haven't taken the Evo. I could take the Evo because it's cheaper, but I really like the total reaction one because I want my baggage to survive. So that little bit of defense of the total reaction combi so far has paid off for me in the games I've played for when people come hunting it. And his job is to keep reloading my machinist because I have a turret machinist in there as well as my other deployables in the army.
Don't worry, Dan took that to the logical
conclusion. Yeah, he did, I'm sure. And then I got my Black Air FTO Neurosynetics, the multi-sniper rifle one. He is fantastic. That Black Air profile. Now, you took the other one, so let's talk about it now because you like the fact that there's a deployment zone hacker with a killer hacking device.
I don't care that he can hack. All I care is that he can go in your deployment zone.
You can go in deployment zone with a submachine gun and a +1 burst flash pulse.
Yep.
I mean, being able to go in my deployment zone with a killer hacker can really mess up some people's days, right?
Being able to go into deployment zone can really mess up your day.
Period. But I just
on
mean
an MSV2 model.
He's a specialist. He's MSV2. He's got an SMG. He's got combat instinct, MIM -3. He's also number 2 if you get him into a fire team. But the FTO Neurosynthetic multi-sniper rifle is no joke. If he had the Fennec tag, he'd be in my big fire team.
He is way better than that chump. What's he called? What's the Bakunin Neurosynthetic guy? Sin Eater.
Yeah.
But you don't understand. I get marksmanship. Yeah, that's just a weakness now.
Yeah, it is. It's funny though, because if I decide I do want to, if I lose someone from the big fire team, I can rope in the FTO Black Air. And that it doesn't necessarily get me my bonus back to full, but he gains a special dice all of a sudden, which can be a huge deal. And he's number 2, which is nice because later on he'll just drop back to being the fire team lead if I lose the Griffin or I lose somebody else later on. So he's a nice piece just to have around. Then I've got a Squallow Mark II with the multi-marksman rifle because why the fuck not have a Squallow Mark II when he's only 55 points? He's so good. Not because he's so good. I mean, he's a Pan O tag, right? So he's BS15, does all the jobs. But because he's 55 points, I feel like you take him always. Just always.
There's one. Remember when I talked about the Tick-Valang in military orders?
Yeah.
The Tick-Valang comes back here. This is the opposite. This is where the Tick-Valang becomes the king. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Where he becomes the avatar, but for 73 points.
But for 73 points. Fair enough. I got a Killer Hacker Scarecrow because I love being able to killer hack, and I also love being able to be hidden deployed and surprise attack with killer hacking. Can be really handy to silence dudes like a Deferzen or one of these big active turn like a Anathematic. He's a fun attack piece, and he's got stealth for snaking through lines. A stealth killer hacker can get to the hacker that he wants to kill, which I think is really, really neat. And then I've got my Palbot for my machinist, who is there to fix up the rest of the army. He's in the wrong group there, but I'm going to fix that. My machinist with his deployable turret, Sierra Thunderbolt +1 burst, and a War Core. And that is my 298 points. Let's talk about that machinist. The Kestrel machinist is min -3, which is a nice little add, just to keep him a little bit extra alive. And that armed combi turret is also very cool, especially when it reloads every single turn from the Mulebot.
Speaking of turrets.
So
your list is like if there was a classic N4 list, you're pretty close to it.
Yep.
You're like, I have my tag, I have my defensive ARO piece, I have my 5-man core, and I have some supporty shit in group 2.
This is about as forgiving all-commersy a Pan O list as I think I could possibly have made. And it's funny because I think Kestrel is one of the few armies that can still do that.
Then Dan made the other kind of list.
Well, let's talk about Dan then. Post your list, Dan.
Oh, he did.
All right. It's in the Discord.
All right. Let's
all right. Hear me out. Okay, we have the Crux Knight made a reappearance.
Of course he did, because he is in this list, and we should talk about that.
Yeah. I couldn't afford the strategic deployment one, but I gave him the Spitfire and drop bears, and then he's with a Fennec, the triangulated fire Thunderbolt, Mine Layer, and Bipandra. And so they're a level 2 Harris or core or whatever. And basically the Crux Knight's got to carry a lot in this list. But he does.
I love that you use profiles that aren't models yet. So let's talk about all these profiles, because I think that you use the one we talked about, which is that Thunderbolt +1 burst triangulated fire.
It's insane for 14 points.
It is insane.
I don't know. I'm like, huh? What?
So let's talk about Bipandra, because she never got used. What's up with Bipandra, and why would you take her?
She's got med kit +1 burst.
Sure does.
So if the Crux Knight goes down, I get actually a 2.5 burst med kit to get it back up if I can't reach out.
This is one of the few times that med kit gets that 2 chances to succeed again too, which doesn't exist with the.
I guess I have to spend the Crux Knight would have been the lead, so but if I need it, it's nice. And the Crux Knight's Fizz 14, and she'd be S12, and if she can't get there, she's a doctor with a reroll, and so worst case scenario, she's got Medikit +1 burst. She's got Doctor essentially +1 burst as well, because you get the roll for your Doctor on a 13. If you fail, you get the roll for free on a 10, and if you fail, then you can spend a command token and re-roll it.
Yep.
And so it's just super efficient at getting people back up, and then you have to get the stupid Crux Knight back down again, which is crazy.
And you didn't take the Crux Knight with the deployables though.
Yeah, don't worry. Just look further down.
I know.
There are deployables.
Oh, I know there are.
Don't you worry. The Crux Knight's going to be too far up the board.
You didn't go all the way. You took the Spitfire one.
Yeah. But also,
I guess he reloads his drop bears. He does reload his drop bears, which is
fun. But he's going to be way too far up to do that because we have other plans. Okay, so I brought the Magistrate just because he was cool, and mainly this is the main reason.
Let's talk about this Magistrate, because this is a profile that isn't out yet, and he's got a ton of very cool leadership profiles.
He's got counterintelligence. He is a specialist operative, and he's a fire team master for Jackals. And so you can get cheap 6-point irregulars to regulars for efficiencies. Just more cheap cheerleaders hanging out in the back. Mainly, they're just going to be hiding around, looking out, and shooting Panzerfaust at things.
And he's got Magistrate, chain of command, and he's also got Lieutenant Strategist level 1.
He is going to be a lieutenant in my list.
Okay.
And he's got a stun pistol. And now the stun pistol is unique between 2 models in the whole game. Because I looked everywhere for it. The War Core has it, and the Magistrate has it. And it's the fact that a stun pistol can stop anything in its tracks. Just having that, he's got the little sidearm that can stop literally anything in the game. With
+1 burst, even. So he's in a team that gives him burst 2.5, 3.5.
He's just hiding in the corner, being like, please don't come near me. And it's like, I'll come out and try to push a button if things get desperate. But otherwise, I'm just hanging out in the back, being like, with his little sidearm. He's also got a combi rifle and a nanopulsar. But I mean, really, he's just holding on to that stun pistol, being like.
And then you got 2 booty jackals, Minecore jackals, who are so cheap. These are kind of what happened with diggers, I imagine. They're not the heavy infantry diggers, but these are supposed to be other miners, and they're a weird, irregular troop.
If the digger was poor, this guy's much more poor.
Oh yeah, these guys are indentured.
So was The Jackals, their role in this list, I mean, it's nice because they're 6 to 11 points. You can give them infiltration with like the more
they're almost like Delamies with
the
that
10
camo.
points.
They're
Yeah,
like non-camo Delamies.
like I like the 11.
They sure are.
They sure are. 6-point Panzerfaust SMG, 6-point light rocket launcher. Both have booty, and those are the FTO ones. And then the infiltrate ones have boarding shotgun, EM carbine, shock mine, or combi rifle Blitzen. And then there's infiltration mine layer with a boarding shotgun and an EM grenade launcher and shock mines. And their
Such
stats
a
are like
weird
nothing.
profile.
They're BS 11, whip 12, arm BTS 0, 1 wound size 2, but they have 4. So you can just rock up. I mean, Owen's first instinct is probably 4 of the Panzerfaust ones for 24 points.
No. I did bring 4, but it wasn't those.
Yeah.
So the reason I brought I originally brought the light rocket launcher ones, but then I'm like, wait, these guys are just cheap arrow pieces of like a Hail Mary throw out, and I'm like, I'd rather hit someone with a Panzerfaust than a light rocket launcher.
Fair enough.
And that's pretty much it. And the submachine gun can fight close range. If things get weird, probably won't. But they're just 2 cheap orders that you don't really care if you lose too much. It's not a huge investment.
And you're reloading them with your.
And they're gonna. And if they do throw some Panzerfaust out, yeah, you can shoot them again.
Well, you're getting. It's funny because they're very efficient with their Panzerfaust because they're getting the 1 plus like 1.5 dice from the special dice, but they're not expending both Panzerfaust. They can arrow twice basically.
They'll probably do nothing, but at the same time, people are gonna double guess. Because if
I
they do
want to
hit
get hit by for 6 points, I'm not risking getting hit by Panzerfaust. You know what I mean? Like
they could also just be Mim 6.
Yeah.
Like that might happen.
They might just
with booty.
Because they could just roll a good booty.
They might just be Mim 6 Panzerfasts for 6 points. So
get that plus in a game I just played today. You know, some 1/1 came on and got a +4 armor, and it just started tanking every single thing I was hitting him with. And I was like, why does he have unlimited chain rifles? Because he doesn't die.
And you got 3 scarecrows.
All right. So the scarecrows are like, oh, look, we're going to get to group 2, but it's kind of like, okay, so there's the Crux Knight and his little group of people, and they're going to be running up the board trying to do things. And they got the specialists with them. So it's like, okay, they're going to run up. But it's like, if that's the only thing they have running up, it's like, we're going to get into trouble. And so we have the 3 scarecrows. We got mine layers just to kind of, thicken up the midfield, make things weird.
It's funny because Scarecrows just ate the Crocman's lunch. They're the old Crocman, but cheaper and better, right? Like,
I mean, they got hidden deployment, so I don't even have to put them on the board.
Yeah,
but I can if I want to, depending. And then, like, if I'm going to go first, I might just have them as camo markers, just so the Crux Knight has 3 more orders. Mm-hmm. I love the Mine Layer profile. I gave the Fort Observer profile just to have a button pusher that starts on the midline. And so maybe he'll start hidden deployment.
Or to have one like at all, because other than him, it's by Pandra.
And the Magistrate.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Oh yeah, so your lieutenant and bypander have to push all the buttons for you.
That is correct. And the
I like how you did this purely for the mine laying.
Wow. It's the turrets is what he did it for.
I know.
Okay. Yeah. And then second, I looked at the Firefly. I'm like, I can take 5 of them. I'm like, wait, they can duo. So basically, there's going to be 2 duos of Fireflies, and they're kind of in their own group because they have Mine Layer, right? Or do they not?
They do.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
You have 4 Fireflies with AP mines and armed turrets.
Yeah. So they're all there's gonna be 4 mines around just hanging out. So just kind of
mine layer things. The turret.
Can you mine layer the turret?
Yeah, it's deployable.
Of course you can.
You can mine layer the turret?
Of course you can.
So if you're going first,
it's so much better than I thought.
You mine layer all the turrets on deployment, and then the status phase hits.
What you really want to do is go second. You want to go second, mine layer all your turrets, reload in your hit the opponent's state's phase for free, then put them all out again.
I think if I go
0
first,
orders expended, and you put out 8 turrets.
If I go first, I think what I do is play out the mines.
Yeah.
And then I walk up and put the turrets more.
The turrets, exactly.
And then I can put them in a better kind of spots, kind of more advantageous, move up a little bit, do things.
If you're going second, though, you just mine lay the turrets and then reload for free. Yeah.
And then I have the Mulebot hanging out, and he can keep, and they're just going to be their own little bunker of like, don't come to this side of the board. And if you haven't played with a bunch of turrets, Owen has given me that opportunity multiple times, and I've tried it out a bit, and you kind of just pick this area, and with it being marksman rifles, that like Spitfire range of like up to 24, of like you can just kind of put it all over the place, and there's too many dice to effectively deal with it. And you're like, it feels bad. And if you're trying to play a good game of efficient infinity, you don't want to walk through those turrets at all. And so you can kind of make a no-fly zone in an area, but it's also immune to like all the, hey, you want to come in on the back line somewhere? It's like there's like 3 turrets, or there's like 5 turrets, or whatever, and it'll just become a lot of turrets. And
I think it's especially, I think the people don't really understand how incredibly oppressive it can be for like objective rooms, where the objective room can just start full of turrets, or with them on the
any
doors,
objectives,
or
all games that
all
involve having
objectives.
to touch an objective.
Exactly.
Like it is literally a guy up
Free
on a
models.
roof suppressing
Yeah.
for 1 order 8 inches away with no counterplay.
Yeah, it's
like,
free models.
It's so obnoxious, and you should bring it. Like, you should. I think
go second, and I would just choose to go second.
If you used to play Acon and you're salty about Acon getting annihilated, here's all your proxies right here. Fireflies are your new Bogmaries. They do the same role that Bogmaries used to do, only now they're albedo instead of mimetism. And then they have just better profiles for cheaper. Your Fenix are your regulars. Your Tikbalang is your Tikbalang. If you happened to own any knights like the Montessas, you can just call them a Crux Knight, because sure, Griffins are your other heavy infantry. Maximus and the Tikbalang are still there. Like, you're off to the races. Here's all your models.
Did we mention that all the Fireflies are also NCO, so you can use that lieutenant word?
He's
got
Strategos,
so it's regular.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. But if they weren't,
if he dies,
it didn't matter.
If he dies and have to pick a new lieutenant, then hey.
Yep.
The fact that you have a mine layer turret profile is crazy, like in my opinion. Like, I think that's an insane thing that exists, and I didn't even realize that it existed, because like, you're just immune to turn 1 shenanigans, aside from straight up having to fight your way across the board.
Also, this guy would reload 3 times per model for free in the States phase. Like, let's say he used all his Panzerfausts, his D charges, and his
mines and
armed turrets.
He would just like, do you know how many orders in reloading that is every States phase? Like,
nope.
It's crazy.
Technically, that's 8. You could do 9. You have 9 single instances of things, and they all just come back in the States phase.
Yeah.
You'll never get through all of them, but maybe. But that's the thing, is like, if they have a bunch of camo which can just run past all the turrets, just play mines.
I can't. The camo has a list of what you can do in ARO, and deploy is not one of them.
No, what I mean is, if they have camo markers
mines near them,
to run past the turrets.
Mines can't run past camo markers.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Put the
right. So you create this defensive link of things, like you're saying, like, we're playing Mind Wipe. You got to come over to my bing and kill one of my freaking things. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Right, because there's turrets everywhere.
Good luck.
If I see you have camo
getting
tokens,
to one of the 2 points on the middle board. You have to get to one of the 2 middle points with a hacker or a specialist and boop the button to figure out which one it is. And then you can't kill it first turn. And then I'm going to spend my entire first turn going turret, reload. Turret, reload.
Even just good luck having parachutists or deployment zone.
Yeah, like,
you know what I mean? Like deployment zone, like 80.
Granted, I don't know how this list beats that either, but
yeah.
Oh, I got decharged on the scarecrows.
Like, come on, Van Zant, I dare you. Come on, Van
100
Zant,
points.
come on anywhere.
Or what is it? It's 96 points for the 4 of these guys.
Yep.
That might be my starting. Like, if the Jackals and the Magistrate were the first thing you buy, this might be the second. Like, because you're just so like, what does a Fade or whatever do when there's mines all over your deployment or marksman turrets all over your deployment?
Well, the Fade doesn't trigger mines.
Right,
but he doesn't trigger turrets, so he just walks in.
The second he tries to do a thing,
no, you're right. Yeah.
He gets one thing done. That's it. One thing.
He gets one thing done. Yeah.
If he tries to throw smoke grenades, the mines will go off through the smoke, and if he tries to fight, the turrets shoot him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh yeah,
the Fade does the one thing he does. He walks over and kills the Mulebot.
Right. That's his entire job. He does his suicide.
He does a suicide run for the Mulebot and kills it, and then this play is over.
And then it stops after that first turn.
That's right. Exactly. You've only got to deal with. I mean, and that's, to be fair, that's exactly the play. Is you kill the Mulebot as fast as you can, because then you're not dealing with this every single turn. You're dealing with it once, which is
you gotta trade your like 25 plus point infiltrator models in order to kill 8-point Mulebots to stop the shenanigans from going out of control.
That's right.
Here's the thing.
That's it.
If you do that, I still get 8 turrets.
No.
No, you get
If he went first, you only get
I
the 4.
mine layer, and then
Oh, I
I
see.
reload in this. Wait, which does the stage phase happen at the beginning or end?
End.
Okay, so I only get 4.
It's the end of
But
each
still,
turn is the state's phase.
let me tell you, even like 2 or 3 turrets is really strong. So just having 4 turrets,
It's not
even
nothing.
if there was no
Yeah.
reload, it's
No,
still
absolutely.
quite strong.
Well, you can still, yeah, exactly. It's not nothing. It's just it's the counterplay to this is if you've got someone like that, you send him every time for the mulebot.
Every
And you hope
time
that
you
Mulebot
fight a
dies.
turret, it's 3 dice. At least these turrets. It's 3 dice. That's like it's about a 14.5% chance of critting.
All right. Well, let's just continue this conversation with
Yeah,
Owen's
so
list because Owen's
yeah.
list is obviously going to be some variation of this. So let's keep going.
Nope, I didn't bring
No.
any. I brought no turrets.
No, nice. Okay. You went the
Yep.
other direction.
Nope, I went basically like your list.
Mhm.
The
Mine is-
Tickling Lieutenant +1 order seems pretty good.
Yeah, the 13 order Tick Belang is a machine, and he's made for killing everything on the other side of the board. And I don't know what you do to stop that on turn 1. You want to talk about all those turrets? The Tick Belang will kill every turret. Like, yeah, you EM him. That's probably the way to stop him. Thankfully, you have a built-in chain of command.
He doesn't flex into other tags. He can't really because he's only got a regular HMG, not a
Yeah. But his climbing plus and movement 6/4 will get him to just kill everything else. Like, you just avoid the tag. And if you do really, really have to fight the tag, the Jackal with his EM grenade launcher and his friend other Jackal with EM grenade launcher coordinate the two of them to stand up and double tap him with EM grenade.
Sure. Yeah.
And then go, yeah, you'll kill one of us. Or even more fun, the Black Air walks in from behind and flash pulses the tag in the back. And then the Tick Belang can win.
He's not bad. I don't disagree. This is the one time the Tick Belang I think has some legs. He's still just not what he used to be. Climb plus getting the nerf that it got, having to be in a vertical line and can't be in any horizontal lines.
I think it's getting the extra order.
The extra order is great. Yeah. He's cheap. He's cheap for 4 orders per in his base profile.
73 points for 4 orders.
Is
like, this was my argument why the Avatar was so good. I mean, obviously the Avatar is way more durable with 3 extra defensive stats.
More expensive.
But 50 points, and now this guy's 50 points cheaper. He loses 3 armor and BTS and 3 mimetism, but otherwise he's the same guy. But he gets 4 orders now instead of 2. And so it's Tick Belang who is the main focus as far as the active turn. I'm going to go do stuff. I have a magistrate with the 2 booty guys. Only mine is a chain of command instead of the Strategos because I know the Tick Belang will die throughout the game. I have the Fennec team, just like Ash did, only I brought 2 triangulate fire mines with shock mines and a missile launcher, as well as the Griffin HMG.
You went the models that I'm not willing to proxy.
Yeah.
It's different from it is if I have miniatures, I want to use them.
Well, I mean, for me, it's one of those like
the list is theory. Yeah, I got it.
Well, not only that, like I do have a whole bunch of Acon models.
Sure.
Like I do have the old Acon list where all of these Fennec guys were they're literally on 40 mil sapper snipers for that list that I played.
Yeah.
And it's gone now. So I'm like, well, I'm going to just bring whatever I feel like because all of these Fennec regulars are just regulars now. Mm-hmm. And I don't mind proxying those at all. And the Crusader Brethren is the same guy that was in, or no, the Seek is gone.
Yeah, Callus.
Yeah, the drop trooper, who I also had Callus, one of. Yeah. So he's my Black Air. So like, as far as like my unwillingness to proxy, it's like, wow, they're all gone. So
no. Honestly, anyone who has Acon should just be using their Acon army as a Fennec army. Like 100%.
Yep, Tech B because I want the dodge +3 on my Tick Belang because then he can dodge mines on 14s, goes to 11, but still pretty good.
Yeah, that's why I'm painting mine right now.
Yep, the infiltration jackals are in group 2 with the mine layer variant and the EM grenade launcher because at some point I may just want to lob on a 4 EM grenade with a regular order. If they'll just be hanging out shooting free, might as well. 2 Sierra TR bots, and then the Black Air deployment zone parachutist who walks in. And the killer hacker, because that's the one you get. Mm-hmm. But basically the play is you're going to know that I'm going to have a Tick Belang that's coming for you. I have a 5-man team that is a pure link team. So BS 15 HMG or BS 13 missile launcher. depending on what it is that he has to fight against, and a Tikbalang. And then if you have something that is a strong enough piece to face up a Tikbalang, then it doesn't have 360, and the black air will come in from behind.
Mhm.
And that's the whole gimmick, is the black air is going to shut you down if the Tikbalang can't kill you.
I don't know, man. I really like the Tikbalang, but I don't know if he is worth 20 points, 18 points more than that. Or no, it's more than that, isn't it? Was he 78?
He's 73.
73. Yeah, he's 18 points more than that Squall Mark II.
Yep, but he is just more orders.
It's one more
orders.
It's one more order. Yeah.
It's a better gun. Because a marksman rifle is not an HMG.
No, it's like what it is. It's different ranges. It's that the Squallow can brawl between 24 and
also less burst too, though.
Right,
Yeah.
but the HMG is more burst. It's more. It's higher damage. It doesn't have AP. Fair. But the
it's higher
Squallow
damage.
doesn't.
It doesn't have AP. It doesn't have DA. Whereas the reactive fire can go to DA and you
Right.
can do
The
shot
Squallow
and stuff.
doesn't
That
have
is very
mimetism, which is a big switch.
Yeah.
Because hit mods are a big deal.
He's got combat
and then
instinct though.
he's got
he's got that-
flamethrower.
Sorry,
It's a flamethrower on
He
the
does have a flamethrower,
Tikbalang.
yeah. I like the multi pistol though, because the Squallow can brawl right up to 8. He can get up close and then have a burst 3 multi pistol.
Yep.
And the multi
It's just
pistols
cheap.
are with the SR-1. They're like
They're
PS6.
PS6.
Yeah.
And they can shoot DA with 2 shots if they want, or they can
Well,
shoot
all of his
AP.
guns are 6 on that guy, which is why I'm like, it's all right.
But
like,
with the AP, it's almost the same as
Exactly,
the HMG.
Because
right.
right. But the
It's,
HMG
it's really just the one burst
Yeah.
in the range.
right.
Yeah.
The burst to the range and the everyone who AP is only one difference.
Yeah.
So every arm 3 guy, the AP is worse than the HMG. And then 4 and better, or 4 it's the same, 5 it's the same, 6 it's better.
I look
by
at the
one.
Squallow and I go, here's a guy who can walk inside the 0 range of other tags and be at the advantage now, right? Whereas the inverse is true. Like if you active me, you attack him outside of 24. If he actives you, he walks in.
Why
So,
not
like-
both?
Yeah.
I mean,
I think
they're good.
and he's cheap. I just look at mine. He's cheap too. I'm not saying that either one is better than the other. I think that you're paying a premium to get the forwarders on the Squall, obviously, or on the Tikbalang, obviously.
Do you think the Squallow is cheap enough to justify a duo?
Maybe,
yeah.
yeah. And
If
you
I
can
was
do
going to
them-
do Squallows, I'd do 2 Squallows.
I do Squall and NCO is what I do. I do the cheap one
Yeah,
that I
you-
just
you
took.
got
And
my
then I would take
vanilla
the
list.
NCO one, and then the NCO one's got the
Yeah.
whatchamacallit, the multi HMG. I'll peek at mine too.
I sat there and looked at Maximus for a long time too, compared to the Tikbalang.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, I went with the Tikbalang for the extra order, because for 3 points I gained an extra order. That was the logic between the two of them.
The
Right.
MSV is a big deal as well. I mean, the mimetism.
Right. Immunity possession and immunity armor for Maximus were
That's
also
really
like
good. That's really good.
incredible weights for him.
It's
And like,
super not nothing.
if you want to talk about like, oh, the Squallow versus Maximus beats the pants off that Squallow every day of the week.
The Maximus is a lot. If
Yeah.
he's going solo, Maximus is a whole lot. Should we
Yeah.
talk about Maximus? Because he's in all of our lit. Like he's in every Pan O faction, I'm pretty sure.
Is he?
Isn't
He wasn't in Svaralheim.
He's not
I don't think
Svaralheim,
he's
that's
in.
right?
He's not in Knights either. He's just
Okay,
in
so he's
this
just
one
in
and
this
Vanilla.
and
I think
Vanilla. We should probably talk about him.
the EM carbine with bonus damage is a wildly powerful weapon because
And
his attack
EM
SR1.
Carbine is burst 2.
Yeah, he's 2 shots hitting on usually 14s before anything else.
His guns changed dramatically though. It's a Thunderbolt plus 2 burst instead of being a multi-marksman rifle plus 1 burst, which is what it used to be.
which is worse.
It's
In my
better
opinion.
range.
Like it gives him the range bands, but he loses the ammo types.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
the it's just a weaker HMG. Like they wanted to give him a not as good HMG, which I think is weird.
It's an
And-
HMG, except it's a Spitfire. You know
Well,
what I mean?
Well, no, it's the same
goes to
range bands for
32
HMG. The issue is that it can't suppress, unlike the HMGs.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, like the Tikbalang can suppress with his HMG. The Squalo could suppress with his marksman. He doesn't want to because he's going to use DA, but the tick belaying in suppression with his mimetism is a legitimate problem to deal with.
Yep.
And Maximus can't do it anymore. And he doesn't have his Panzerfaust anymore. So he doesn't have that like one tap really scary gun. So he's kind of hoping to just EM you now if you're in short range, or he's going to like, he literally just, are you within 16? EM carbine. Are you out of 16? Thunderbolt. Mm-hmm. He's also kind of cool because if you bring the pilot, he's dodging on 16s. So that's neat.
That's
he's
pretty high.
And you would.
And you would.
And you dodge 4 inches.
And he dodges 4. Yeah. He's the only thing like, and it'd be very easy for me to put him in instead of the tick belaying. So like this would be I would run it and see how the tick belaying did. And then I would do the exact same list and run it, but with Maximus instead. And there's probably an argument that Maximus would be better, but it's not obvious to me between the two of them. Like it's super close.
Maximus is really nice in that melee doesn't really kill him. You can try, but it gets real dicey. Mm-hmm. And so it's probably not worth it ever.
The immunity armor is what did it for me. Like that's the thing that like, all of like the argument for the Squala versus the tick belaying falls apart against the Squala versus Maximus, because it's like, I don't care about what the guns you have. Oh, you have AP explosive. That's
Viral probably why they didn't give him a suppression gun.
Viral doesn't work on him anymore either because he's got structure. And
bunch guns just don't work.
Yeah. So the breaker is like the only tool you can really use to try and best this guy up.
Or EM.
EM, yeah. Sure.
But those are usually low burst.
EM works on all of those guys, right? Like,
of course. Yeah.
We're all in that same boat together. Yeah. But
then that becomes the only thing. You can't.
Like if you think of that Kauru who has a chance to kill the Yodam, this guy's as tough as the Yodam is against the Kauru, but probably even more so because you don't get the DA anymore. So you're just like hoping that you roll a bunch of hits on him. And he's going to dodge on 16s against it. Yeah.
I think he's cool.
I
don't see it, the profile, and get excited to play it, but maybe I'm wrong.
I think he's really good. And I think he probably competes with the Dick belaying if you want to lose an order but gain a wound in order to get immunity armor, immunity possession, and the ability to fight in close combat.
I think what's really cool is that we've just talked like 10-15 minutes about 3 tags and which one is better and how you can bring them, and they're all viable options.
And they're all kind of cool.
They all have their role, and they're all good at their role and can do it. And I think that's a good sign of like a list in game development of like, hey, there's 3 tags, and I kind of want to bring all 3 of them in different situations.
And I think it's awesome. A big part of bringing the ceiling down on fire teams.
Yeah.
Right? Like that we're even able to have that conversation.
Yep.
Is there anybody that we didn't mention that you think stands out? Obviously, we talked about Priya.
Let's talk about the elephant that didn't get talked about, which is
drummers.
The drummer.
I was going to say the drummers and the Blink team we didn't talk about either. So let's talk about.
If it wasn't for me wanting to spam fireflies, I was going to spam drummers.
Yeah. So let's talk about Drumbots, because
I'm not spending 28 points for an arm 1 guy. It just ain't happening. Who doesn't generate an order? He's 28 points for no orders and 1 wound and 1 armor. I don't care how cool his gun is. It's 1 order or 1 guy and no order.
It's in such weird design space to put a hyper rapid magnetic cannon on a peripheral. I don't care if it's 360 and min -3 and courage. It's 28 point peripherals. These are 40 point auxilia, basically. I do not understand this profile, and I don't think I'll ever take it.
The hardest part is I don't understand any of them. Like,
so let's explain these to people. It's a BS-13 Arm 1 BTS-3 360 visor gunfighter. I guess the one thing we could say about these guys is they have a crazy active turn. So think about the fact that you can come around the corner with 2 models, right? So a guy with a marksman rifle and a hyper rapid magnetic cannon. And they both shoot the same target with full burst at the same time. That is a fucking crazy proposition.
Yeah, it's 8 dice against you.
Right? That is probably in the game the single hugest amount of dice.
Yeah. Without doubt it is.
Without doubt. absolutely.
Even coordinates can't compete with that amount of shots.
Nothing. Nothing can.
The main issue is that the drummer and not the drumbot will always be the one shot back against.
Yeah,
because if you kill the drummer,
that's it.
The drumbot just dies.
And it's so expensive. Trading with it would be an insane.
If there was ever a guy who wanted that Vita pack, this is him.
This is him. This is the guy.
You're speedballing your Vita pack onto the drummer, and then you're going to make your run, and he's going to shoot to death anything that he gets in front of him. And then I thought the perspective I had was, this guy hides in your deployment and goes on suppression, and then kills anyone who tries to walk in.
He has to end the turn on suppression every turn.
Yeah, because he's a 360 visor with suppression and a bunch of guns that can suppress.
And it's 2 models for a single order suppressing, right? Because they
both suppress at the same time.
Yeah. And all of the guns that are on these models, except for the Fearbach, can do it.
And the flamethrower.
And the flamethrowers, yeah. Well, the Mark 12 on the flamethrower guy can do it, though, right? So the Mark 12.
The HPMC can.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Sure can. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yep. So it's I think someone's going to have a real good time with these. Like, oh, Jesus. I think someone's going to have a real good time with these a few games before people figure them out. And then I think people are going to piece trade templates onto them. And you know what I mean? Like,
the thing is like,
go kill them as fast as possible.
If this thing can go on top of one, it might just kill everything in its way.
Anything and everything.
Like, high risk, high reward right here.
Because they are BS-13. Like, that Drumbot went to college and he learned how to shoot.
And mimetism. Like the Drumbot's got mimetism. The thing's crazy.
It's not a rem though, so you can't buff it.
It is a rem. You can
absolutely.
Buff it.
It is. You absolutely
so you can marksmanship it.
Yes.
Yeah, you can definitely marksmanship it. Like, you can do all these things, but like, okay, how many points are you going to invest into a 1 wound, 1 armor guy?
Where one of the 2 wounds dies, the other one
and if either of them die, they're useless, right? Like, because if one goes down, the other one either is inert, or if the other one goes down,
if we were talking about Fide targets, this guy's like Fide candy. He's just gonna walk over to you as dressed as grandpa and
like,
just cut your fucking throat,
break your knees when this guy.
This guy's CC-14. Like, he's just gonna get obliterated by anything that can walk over there.
They got no visors. Real bad.
Yeah, smoke's gonna feel real bad to them. Like, I love the idea of these guys, and I think there's like a hilarious childlike wonder to the way that they fight, but like, oh my god, the risk versus reward ratio for them, they are the definition of glass cannon.
Like, that idiot turret that is a combi rifle
just
fires back, and then it's like, I rolled a 7, I crit, you're dead. Haha, I killed 48 points for nothing. Like,
I'm a free thing that came to your 42
points. Yeah,
hyper cannon.
It's
like, how does
whenever
this
you
guy
have a low arm and you're expensive, it's just so tough to justify yourself as a fighter, a gunfighter. Because
I just think they're hilarious. They'll never get taken, but I love the moxie of the game design here, where they're like little kids. You know what I mean? They feel like an anime drawing of like they're Tiny Tina. You know what I mean? Like, they're just this like little kid with an enormous gun, and then some pieced together robot they also stuck an enormous gun to. It's Butt Pony.
This is my favorite part about the Drumbot is in the lore in the book. It talks about Drumbots being like, when they have to get into the thick of things, you need to go through like the street. You send in the Drumbots to and you're like, you send in the long range weaponry to the streets. It's just like this massive.
You can give him a Mark 12. You can have a Mark 12 and a rocket and a flamethrower. Like,
the flamethrower is the only one that matches like the lore description of it. Everything else is like, what are they doing in the streets? Just like mowing down houses.
The forward observer profile is actually pretty cool though. Because he's an old school Auxilia.
Yeah,
because he's a 360 Auxilia. He has a flash pulse bot that is also a flamethrower. Notably, the bot is also an FO.
Yep.
So it can do the objective instead of risking your guy, because the Auxilia bot wasn't. It was only the Auxilia that was, and this one the bot got it too. Yep. He's only whip 11, but whatever, roll it, right?
It also means that you can
both do it.
You can both do it. Well, no, and remember, FOs. This is one of those. If you really want to get a guided off or a targeted off on somebody, you're doubling your chances now, right? It's 4 dice trying to target something, and which one's he going to try and get away from? He dodges.
Yeah, he's going to shoot your. He's going to shoot the controller.
Of course, he is. 100% he is. Yeah.
The problem is
you're only risking 21 points.
It's BS whip though. Right, and so you're going to BS12 and BS11.
Sure, but whichever one you're opposing, you know what I mean. If you're only going to oppose one with your
they are burst 2 base, so it is 4 rolls at
4 rolls,
12s and 11s.
Yeah,
it's not terrible.
Nope.
But
I think
the 21 point is the only one that's viable.
I think
Unless you want to just go crazy.
I'm definitely going to try to figure out a 2 or 3 drummer list.
Oh, I think you go all the way. I think you just take them all. I
don't think you can go. Well, you could do 4 if you bring the FOs, but I don't think you go that far because they can't coordinate, right? So they can never be part of any of that stuff because they have their stupid bots with them. But then it becomes like, okay,
you just buy cheap orders with the jackals, right? Take 4 jackals and a magistrate.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you get 3 because I don't think the jackals can be a core.
Aren't they ready 4?
No, they can only be a Harris.
Yeah, they can be 4,
yeah.
but you only get the 3. Yeah. They can only be a Harris, but you still get 3. You still do that because it's cheap.
Mm-hmm.
But then you bring Bipandra because she's
you
the
can only
reroll
bring 2
doctor.
to make them the regular. Anyway.
Right.
No. What I'm saying is you just keep 2 aside to then reform the link with when the other ones die. So you just take all 4 anyway.
Fair enough.
Like you definitely bring Bipandra for the doctor and the medkit burst. You definitely bring a machinist to repair. And then you bring a tech bee because it's got the gizmo kit as well. Like you bring all the things so that those 2 guys, and then the rest of your list is just ARO pieces. And basically you turn 1, you walk 1 drummer and he kills until he dies. You fix him if you can.
Yeah.
And then if you can't, that's it. He's done. And then the second drummer just waits. And then turn 2, the second drummer goes. And then turn 3, you try and do objectives. And like that's my thinking is how you could set these guys up. And your whole list is basically just defend this guy if I don't go first. And then that's it.
And then you're done.
Yeah. You bring a bunch of peacemakers so that they lay mines all over the place because they're cool. You bring what am I talking about? You bring 5 freaking fireflies.
Yeah.
You don't have to think. You just bring 5 fireflies and you just put down a pile of turrets, and then you're like, here's my defense and here's my offense.
Just these extra fireflies, and then I generate orders by taking nothing but Thunderbolt Fenix.
And oh my god, yeah, that's the way to go.
We got to figure it out, man. We got it. We're good.
We know honestly, I think the MVP of all of this is the Thunderbolt Fennec for 14 points. It's just crazy.
Can we talk about the Blink team briefly and how he doesn't matter because of scarecrows?
There's a Blink team?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's like
the other scarecrow. He's the worst scarecrow.
He's a marginally more or less expensive scarecrow who has like a for realsies gun, but he's not ever a specialist.
Well, because the thing is that because he sits in between the scarecrow and the arrow piece that is the black arrow, it's like, why wouldn't I take the black arrow if I want that multi-sniper rifle for the same points? And if I want to sneak up on somebody, why wouldn't I take the scarecrow? This guy splits the difference with his guns being like the black arrows and his stats being like the scarecrow. And it's like...
And then he loses infiltration. And you're like, why are you here?
Yeah.
The Blink kind of reminds me of the Lynx profile in 012.
Yes, sure. But not interesting.
But the scarecrow and the other guy are just that. But better.
Yeah.
Well, so you're stuck in your deployment zone.
I think the Blink team is a classic example of a profile where there's 2 other profiles already in the list that do his job, and he's in the middle of the road, and so no one's going to take him. Like he's just one of those like my model better be cool because there's 2 other guys here that are already specializing in the things that I do halfway.
I think the advantage of the Blink team is that you can have a MIM6 sniper as an ARO piece, and like. The drummers can't deal with that.
They can't.
I mean, weight of dice.
In all fairness, yeah, they can because at best that guy can only shoot 1 of them. You're getting at least 3 dice unopposed or 5 dice unopposed if they shoot the guy instead of the bot.
He's still trading up. If the drummer dies, then you know what I mean.
This is what second drummer is for. Like.
How many drummers do we take here?
You bring 2. You
bring two. So I just made a list.
The rapid magnetic cannon.
We've got the 2 drummers with hyper rapid magnetic cannons. We got a Mubot Evo hacker, so we can give them that sweet, you know what?
Yeah. Sorry, we did forget that the 1 drummer has a marksmanship hyper.
That's right. He's also marksmanship. Yeah.
So he's like,
I didn't even see that.
Because you're gonna bring the Evo bot and put a marksmanship on him. So he's like, I'm on 10s against your sniper with 5 dice. Do you want to oppose me?
I got the machinist. The machinist has 2 pal bots.
13s.
Yeah, he's got 2 Opal bots. He has also got an armed turret just for funsies. I got 3 fireflies, because of course I do with Mine Layer. I got the magistrate with the double jackals booty FTO to hang out with everybody. And then I don't know, I got 15 points left. Let's throw in let's say, oh sorry, I've got 3 Fennec Fusiliers with Thunderbolts and a Fennec Hacker with a Fast Panda, just in case I want to throw something out there. And with 15 points left, let's just throw in a second mule bot in case the first one goes down with the TR. Because that way we don't have to worry about where they're standing to reload people.
Fennecs just seem unfair. Like they're just like, it's okay. Like, okay, your hacker is 16 points, but you get a Fast Panda and an emitter. Or like other base troops, their hacker will be around the same points and have no extra guns. They'll have
Right,
like
this is our bonus list for this one.
All right, I have a better bonus.
Okay,
like the Ford Observer has
I'll
sensor and
post it so it's
flashballs
easier
and
to
disco
see.
baller. It's just the Fennec base profile. It's just better than any other base troop in the game. I think, like they're just better.
So
right.
I just brought 5 fireflies because fuck, why not? I brought 2 drummers with the hyper rapids. I brought the 2 jackals with Panzerfaust with the magistrate strategos. And then in my second group, I have 2 Evo Mulebots, so I can marksmanship both of my Drumbots at the same time. And then Tech B Bipandra Warcore to fix everything that needs to be fixed. And it's Bipandra is the attack-aware one, so she has the extra shenanigans.
Sure.
And there's no thinking. It's just, am I going second? I mine layer 5 marksmanship turrets, and I spend a command token to put one of my drummers on suppression. And if I go second, or if I go first, I mine layer 5 marksmanship turrets, and then I attack you with a drumbot. Like, I marksmanship both of them. You reduce my order pool by 1 because I'm pretty sure they have counterintelligence.
Do you think that could kill a Yodam?
Do I think this could kill a Yoda?
Do you think that the hyper rapid marksman rifle could do the Yodam? Could do him dirty?
The answer is not quite.
Probably not.
So I've done the Zeta.
So he's
loading on a Yodam.
Sorry. Yo, yeah, he definitely can. He has AP on his gun.
Yeah,
he's
so
5 dice.
He's 5 dice marksmanship AP
hitting on 16s.
Yeah,
and then the Yodam will be armor 8 goes to 13.
Yeah,
but he'll be hitting on 15s. No,
right. This thing's hitting on 16s.
No, he's actually hitting on less.
Same.
It's at 12.
Oh, he has mimetism. Yeah. No, this guy beats up the Yodam.
Yeah.
This might be
now. Flip side, if the Yodams go first, they don't give a shit about those marksmen. They're gonna walk right through all of these.
You can command token to put them on suppression, and both of them will be on suppression, right?
But I mean to say is
Yodam doesn't care about the turrets.
The turrets don't matter anymore, so they can't stop the Yodam. Unless you're going to stand in the open, what I'm
saying is that drummer can if you put the drummer on suppression, his bot's also on suppression.
Right. But the thing is like if you put him out so he can see to be on suppression, it'll range band you.
I'm just saying, just be defensive.
If you hide, one of the Yodams will walk directly into your deployment zone and flamethrower everybody and just be done with it. And like, there we go. I solved the problem.
There, you're right. Yeah.
You better hope that the jackals get the job done and roll something really cool.
Yeah. No, the Yodams are a problem for sure. I was just thinking, I'm wondering if that's the thing that could active the Yodam to death, is that drummer weirdly has, I think, the answer for it, because you can get the extra shots. Like,
I think this drummer bot kills everybody in the active turn. I don't know what doesn't get killed by the 8 dice AP. Like,
that's true. Yeah, it's bad news.
And like, even if you stack like mods and stuff against it, like on the active turn, I think this just kills you. Like, whether the drummer helps it or not, and I think generally you won't have the drummer help. I think this thing is just going to run through people if it gets to do its thing. If you
the only problem is that one slip up, one bad roll,
one crit, they die,
and you're gone.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yep.
But it would be a fun run to make. You're just like, you're like, hit me. You're just flipping over blackjack cards.
It's all Kenny Loggins. It's all Danger Zone the whole time. It's just pure
you probably fight with both of them all the time, every time anyway. Because even if the drummer dies, so like turn 1, first thing you're doing is you're doing both of your speedballs.
Yep.
And one of them is a heal bot. And the other one, hopefully you either get a repair or a heal, whichever one of those two you get. And then you give one to your bot and one to yourself.
And off
if it's the repair, and then you go out and you fight, and then you spend, because you're going to have 11 regular orders. If they try and reduce it, they'll only reduce it by 1 because the magistrate has counterintelligence. So you have 10 orders on turn 1 with the drummer to do everything he can. Kill as much as you can.
Kill as quickly as you can. Oh man. What a
and then after he dies, you use your lieutenant's ability to move one guy over, and you move a specialist into group 1, and then you do all the objectives.
What a positively insane list. I can't wait for us to make these. All right, so that's it. We've done Fennec. I can't think of any other profiles to talk about. Did we talk about already?
So for the new boys on the block, how are they faring? I think it's a really cool.
They're really good list. Sectorial. Oh no, we did forget one. We forgot the Hectari shooter.
His multi-red fury.
With his multi-red fury, which is one of the few that we've found so far.
Oh. That exists.
And they've got BS attack -3, combat instinct, immune shock, and their marksmanship. They're AVA 1, though. You get a single marksmanship.
No, they're AVA 2.
They're 2.
I'm looking at it right now, AVA 1. Oh, no, they're AVA 1 in Pan O. Sorry, yeah. But you get a lieutenant option for them.
You get 2 lieutenants.
Yeah, you get the missile launcher and the red fury both as a lieutenant option. So... would you take a 48-point lieutenant?
I mean, I do all the time.
47 missile launcher lieutenant?
I don't think you ever bring the missile launcher on this guy.
No.
Like you just bring the multi-red fury.
Yeah, just the basic guy. I don't know.
And
he's one of those guys where
or as a lieutenant.
Well, because he's in a couple fire teams. What fire team's he in?
Is he?
I thought he was.
Oh yeah, he's in the Kestrel, Griffin and Fireflies.
He's in the Kestrel fire team, but he doesn't count as a Kestrel model. So like you can take him with Griffins.
But you're going to bring Fireflies anyways, so you just bring 2 Fireflies and
he just joins them and gets. He
just joins them and gets the bonus. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a profile.
He's a marksmanship guy in Pan O. Let me put it. I think he would have more things to say in vanilla because he's got too many.
He's also BS attack -3, which means he's better mimetism, right? He's mimetism that only combat instinct gets rid of, and
no, only Warhorse
gets rid of. Sorry,
does combat instinct? No, combat instinct just ignores stealth and surprise attack.
Surprise attack.
Yeah. Again, like, who is he going to outshine? The Fireflies? Is he going to outshine the Neurocinetic Multi-Sniper or the Deployment Zone? Is he going to outshine the Infiltrating Hidden Deploy Mine Layer Man or Forward Observer?
It's a 50-point model, so you're sacrificing things.
Is he better than a Squallow Mark II?
No.
I feel like
that's where I'm at.
Because he's Armor 5 BTS 6, it's like I feel so much more comfortable gunfighting with him and running through things.
He's a big boy, for sure.
Because as you start killing things, you're bringing turret layers along with you.
I was going to say, you can also have him standing. You can also have him standing up at the end of the turn, surrounded by turrets. Because his buddies have just laid turrets everywhere.
There's no worse thing than trying to solve the problem of there's an Armor 5 guy looking at me and suppressing with BS attack -3, and I have to somehow kill him. But I'll first have to kill all the turrets.
The suppressing AP marksmanship BS attack -3 guy has something to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
Yeah, BS attack with the Red Fury, right?
Yeah, you could do that with the AP SMG Fury. Too.
You could, yeah. I don't think I'd take the missile launcher though. I think I'd rather have the Red Fury.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, but just be -9 to shoot back at, and he's hitting you on 14s.
Mm-hmm. And you can't get through it with visors. You're only getting through it with Warhorse.
Yeah.
He's an interesting model.
Yeah. You're crazy powerful, and in many factions, you'd probably be the best gunfighter they have. Anyway, you're like number 4.
So there's one more. There's the Red Eye. The Red Eye, he's your weird super jump.
I refuse to look at the planes.
You don't want to look at the planes? He's got a vehicle in this list. You don't want to look at
the Red Eye is decent gunfighter. I think he's one of the better. We're not. I don't think we're excited about any of them, but he's definitely one of the better ones. I mean, BS13,
Spitfire, chain rifle, Blitzen. It's got a grenade launcher, which is interesting.
I think because the game is everyone's AROing all the time, and you don't get that null deployment to take advantage of, is less good. If someone null deployed, this guy would be god tier.
He's interesting that his pH for Gizmo Kit is higher than his actual pH.
Oh, interesting.
He's weirdly easier to fix. He's pH 14 for Gizmo Kit, and he's Fizz 13 for everything else. That's strange. Like he's easier to fix.
He's just annoying to shoot at because he's dodge -3 with mimetism 6. So he's -9. But...
So if you're shooting at him in the reactive turn, he's just going to dodge on 13s, and you'll be -9.
Yep.
Which is cool.
I mean,
unless that Nisa's sniper is shooting him, in which case he's just going to die because he's going to be armor 3, and then you're going to hit him on 10s or 13s because he has no cover, and then he's dead.
He's high. Yeah, it's really, if someone null deploys or close to, and he can just move 16 inches a turn and get into position and just mow down everyone with a Spitfire.
Okay, the drummer is the same price as this guy. Would you bring him or a drummer?
2 of him.
He's a lot more survivable than a drummer.
He got 2 structures.
It's
you can just
armor 6 and 2 structures.
Stand him in the open, suppressing in the reactive turn.
If he can find somewhere to hide, I'd rather have him than a drummer.
I wish we could find a reason to like these vehicles. I just can't. I don't like them. Now also exists in this list. Maybe we should worth mentioning.
He doesn't link at all, though, right?
No, he doesn't.
And he's fighting for his life with the black air existing.
Yeah. Emily's also Emily's a wild card, weirdly, but now Fizz isn't. And she's Chain of Command. So you have access
now
to
Fizz like, I have BS attack +1 burst. And the black air is like, yeah, neurocinetics.
Yeah, and the Magistrate just completely eats Emily's lunch because I don't need to have her fucking laundry list of abilities and guns when I can just for 19 points take.
If I really want an EM grenade launcher, I'll put it on a regular guy for 10 points who starts halfway up the board.
Yeah,
for
21 points, I get the same.
It's a jackal.
Option.
It's a jackal.
And it's jackals. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I'll fire team master some jackals for 21 points if I want chain of command.
Yeah. I can bring 2 jackals for the price of an Emily, and they both have EM grenades, and they're just wasting their 1 irregular order per turn.
That's exactly it.
Hopelessly bombing them into my opponent's deployment zone.
Yeah.
Infiltrating. Yeah.
So short story long, we love jackals. We don't like anybody else. Sforza also exists.
That's not true. We all like fireflies. Fireflies are absolutely off the rails.
Yeah.
And we all like Fennec Fusiliers.
We do like Fennec Fusiliers. They are the best Fusilier now, by far. Also, Dart is here.
Sure.
And the Yamabushi, we didn't mention the Yamabushi, the new ninja.
Yeah, because they didn't make the cut. Get out of here.
It's weird that you can get like a ninja paramedic though, an FTO paramedic with a med kit, chain rifle, tac bow.
The only thing is the Yamabushi does, in my opinion, is makes the Blink team even worse.
Even worse. Because I get an AVA2 regular 15 point like forward deployment, mimetism -3, martial arts 3 guy. They're just worth noting because they're martial arts. They're martial arts in martial arts 3 in Pan O for like 15, 16 points with Panzerfausts. It's pretty fucking cool.
Oh my god, you could put this guy out around the fireflies, and like it's unclear which one is the mine, and which one is just a tac bow guy.
Oh no, these guys don't have camo. They're just mimetism.
You can bring a camo one.
Oh, there is a one use camo. That's right. Yeah.
They're just a mine hanging out for 16 points.
Could be a mine. Could also be a chain of Panzerfaust DA close count weapon.
But it won't. It's five marksmanship turrets. That's what it actually is.
It's actually 5 marksman turrets. Oh yeah, Bushi. Well, I think we've done it. We talked about Fennec. We're on to soup next. It's all soup all the time. Talking about what used to be called vanilla Pan O, but I think we're just going to refer to it as the soup faction now because it's not everything anymore. It's just like a bunch of ingredients from different factions that have no real distinct flavor anymore. That's it. That'll be our last one for Pan O. So tune in for that next week, and bye everybody.
Bye.